Hi, I'm Aubrey Gowing, and today we're going to talk about knee pain. Okay, so let's look at some of the structures involved, and the common causality in a lot of knee pain is tibial rotation. So let's take a look at what happens when the tibia rotates. So first of all, it's going to affect ligaments in the side of the knee. And we have ligaments on either side. These are called collateral ligaments. And the collateral ligament's job is to stabilize the knee from side to side. What these ligaments encounter then when they get tensioned, when the tibia is rotated, is that these ligaments then become quite stressed and they become painful, and particularly painful on movement. And this is what we call simple ligament pain, because there isn't any damage as such, there isn't scar tissue, there's just stress on the ligament making it painful. If we can derotate the tibia, we take care of that stress, we unload the ligament, and the pain can go away very quickly. So what causes this tibial rotation, this turning of the lower leg bone? Well, there's one of the hamstrings, it's called biceps femoris, and biceps femoris attaches to the back of the femur. Unlike the other hamstrings, which go all the way up to the top of the pelvis, biceps femoris goes from the back of the femur down onto the top of the tibia and the fibula. So it has this mechanical advantage whereby when it contracts, it can turn this lower leg bone, it can twist the tibia. We do this when we're sitting down, particularly when we're driving. We rotate as we go from brake to accelerator, we twist, and that rotates the tibia and puts stress on these ligaments. But the other thing it will affect is actually the kneecap, the patella, because the kneecap is connecting to the tibia. When the tibia is twisted or rotated, it means the kneecap is now pulled offline, it's off center. So instead of it running in a smooth groove in the back of the femur, the kneecap is now actually hitting off the sides of the femur, and it damages this cartilage on the underside, and we can develop a condition known as chondromalacia patella. Now again, if the kneecap is brought back into its more neutral position, if it's better orientated, it can slide better in that groove, and it doesn't cause the same problems, the same dysfunction. Probably one of the big causes of knee pain is a meniscus tear. And here we see a very common site for a meniscus tear shown here, that these meniscus tears happen from this splitting from all the way to the femur coming down on one point when the tibia is rotated. When the tibia is in its ideal position, the two bones interlink and you get this snug fit. However, when the lower leg bone, the tibia, is rotated, the bones don't quite line up, and as the knee tries to straighten, you get this deep clunking. And that can cause the cricking and cracking that we experience in the knee, or if pressure comes down onto a point in the meniscus, it can split the meniscus. And that split then doesn't get a chance to heal. It's damaged, sometimes you can just tear like a flap, almost like just skinning a knuckle, and because it continuously is getting rubbed, it really doesn't get a chance to heal properly. If we can rotate and get it back to a more neutral position, we can then actually get the femur to sit properly, that its weight is coming down between the two bones. So instead of the pressure coming onto one side here, the femur actually sits back properly and spreads its weight over the meniscus on either side instead of being rotated out and pushing all on one side. Because this will just keep re-injuring this flap of cartilage and it really won't get a chance to heal. So derotating the tibia is very important. We'll take a look at how we can do some therapy techniques to improve this situation, and then some home care stretches that may in some cases allow this to heal and even avoid surgery. Or in cases where surgery is necessary, if we take pressure off this area, the surgery is going to be more successful, we get better outcomes, even when this has to be surgically repaired. In a treatment session, we first assess the degree of rotation of the tibia, then apply myofascial techniques to release any adhesion between the hamstrings, or even between the hamstrings and other muscle groups, such as the adductor muscles under the hamstrings. Specific myofascial, frictioning and trigger point techniques are applied to the short head of bicep, and then derotating of the tibia along with mobilizing the fibular head. The knee joint is gapped to encourage joint space, and then the knee is derotated using a muscle energy technique. This helps to stretch out the short head of biceps and derotate that tibia. The client is then given home care exercises that specifically stretch and target the short head of biceps femoris. Hope you enjoyed this short video on knee pain. Special thanks goes to 3D for Medical for giving us permission to use their exceptional anatomy app. It's called Complete Anatomy. You can find more information on our college page about training courses, DVDs, books. Be sure to like our video and follow us on Facebook. Thank you.
Do you work with minors? Have you met your state or territory's legislative requirements for healthcare workers? You may be required to possess a valid Working with Children check. The Working with Children check is a screening process that assesses that there is nothing in your history to suggest it would be unsafe for you to work around minors. Depending on your state or territory, the Working with Children check can also be known as a blue card or a Working with Vulnerable People check. If you are required to hold a valid Working with Children check, you can submit a copy to the association either by uploading a copy on the association's website or by emailing it to inquiries@massagemyotherapy.com.au. You can learn more about the Code of Ethics, Standards and National Code of Conduct requirements on the Massage and Myotherapy Australia website, the Association of Professional Therapists.
Hello from Associated Bodywork and Massage Professionals, the leading association for massage therapists in the United States. I'm Leslie Young and I'm ABMP's International Ambassador. I'm so excited about our new partnership with Massage and Myotherapy Australia. Now MMA members can join as ABMP Associate members at a deep discount and access more than 200 hours of online continuing education and other member benefits. So for more information, visit abmp.com/MMA. Together, we look forward to supporting you and your career.
So hi and welcome to Connect. Today I'm speaking to Stacey Tonkin, who is the Partnership and Growth Manager for Aon Insurance, and she's here with me today to talk all things insurance for therapists. Welcome, Stacey.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's lovely to be here today.
Thank you. And it's an important topic because I often think how students in college, massage colleges and myotherapy colleges aren't really getting as much about the business side of things. It's been like that for years. That there's a big concentration and focus on the ability to be a good therapist, but part of that whole thing is about business as well. So insurance is one aspect of that, and you're here today to I guess, assist. And Aon have had a long-term relationship with Massage Myotherapy Australia too. So for a massage therapist about to open a small business, what do you think some of the things that they need to think about in respect to insurance?
Okay, it's a great question. So I think firstly, you really need to take control of your insurance by understanding the types of policies you're required to hold, and that those you should consider to protect yourself, your business and your employees. I think just really simple things like knowing when your policies are due to renew. It sounds really simple, but for a lot of us, we get all of our bills and so forth on our email. And they can actually get lost, missed, things like that. So you can potentially miss something that's really important to you. Perhaps you got your professional indemnity insurance renewal and you've missed it. So just simple things like knowing when they're due. And then when you do receive them, actually checking the documents to make sure the details are correct. Again, seems like something that most of us would do, but looking at things like what we call the entity or the insured name, looking at your address, looking at things like your sums insured. And although they seem like really simple things, something like getting your entity or insured name wrong can cause a huge amount of dramas for you. And I'll give you an example why. If you have a policy and it's in your name, and you also have a company name, an entity, and you haven't actually put that on the policy, if you receive a claim where legal action has been taken against the company, that policy or the claim could actually be denied by the insurance company because the company hasn't been listed on the policy. So, just simple things like just making sure that all the legal entities are actually on the policy are a really important thing. When it comes to your professional indemnity, the schedule will actually include things like professional services. Again, review this. Make sure that you're not conducting something that's outside the scope of cover. When you're looking at the policy, take into consideration what's covered, what's included. For example, your professional indemnity cover, does it have things like unlimited retroactive date? This is really important because claims or allegations are not always advised to you straight away. In some instances, it could come years later, and if your retroactive date isn't unlimited, you may not actually be covered for those claims. Then if you have employees, you also need to understand your obligations for workers' compensation insurance. Each state has their own requirements and process, and it's extremely important that you, as a business owner, understand these obligations and to be aware of what insurance is available and making sure that everything you have is relevant and up to date.
Many massage therapy business owners are massage therapists, as I mentioned earlier, themselves. So how can they best protect their business if illness or even personal tragedy means that they're unable to treat clients over a longer period of time?
Okay, so for things like that, you'd be looking at life insurance, personal accident or sickness insurance, and these covers are really something you would need to talk to your broker about or and get advice and actually really consider them carefully to make sure that they really fit with your circumstances and are suitable for you.
What are the risks of, I guess, underinsuring a business? I mean, what are the consequences?
Underinsurance is actually it's actually quite a big issue. So if you're talking about, say, a business pack policy where you're insuring your assets, underinsuring, there is an underinsurance clause that relates to various sections of the policy, such as the fire and peril section, the business interruption section. So you are required to insure on what's called a new replacement value. So that means that you are insuring all of your assets for what they're going to be, what's going to cost to actually replace them new. If you don't do that, the underinsurance clause can apply, and then you can actually proportionally have your claim reduced by the amount that you're underinsured. So it actually puts you in an even worse position than you would have already been. So it actually is a really big deal. Or, if you're looking at things like liability cover, professional indemnity, anything where you're looking for the policy to protect you against legal action, looking at your sum insured or limit of liability is really important. You're looking for that that sum insured to be adequate to cover potential claims. And if you always take the lowest limit of cover available, it just might not be enough in the event of something going wrong.
And if one of our members receives a claim or an allegation in relation to the services, what are the steps involved?
Okay, so it's really important for when you receive something not to ignore it. A lot of times when you receive an allegation, claim, a letter of demand, there will actually be a time limit that you have to respond. So if you actually hold on to that for a few days, and then let us know, it actually can make it much more difficult because the insurance company will need to look at it, they'll need to understand it so they can respond. So as soon as you receive anything like that, it's really important that you contact Aon so that we can get everything in motion for you. And if you're unsure, there's nothing wrong with just calling and having a chat with our health team to find out. There's no bad downside to that. Even things like if something happens and you're not sure if that's something you should share, again, the health team are there. They're available to help you, to look after you and advise you. And so if you're not sure, just call Aon to discuss it because it's really important that we know about any claims or allegations or incidents that could lead to a claim.
Okay, great. Is there anything else you wanted to add as far as different policies? What is the most popular policy as far as the limits? We talked about limits a little bit earlier on. But there are different limits that are offered through the Aon insurance policy with our members.
So the professional indemnity policy, you mean? Sure. So the minimum there would be 2 million, and then there's 5 million, there's 10 million, there's 20 million, and obviously the premiums differ between those. But you can certainly, if you're not sure, get alternative levels of or get alternative quotes through our health team and find out what the difference is between those various limits that if you're not sure of which way to go, and then you can compare them and make a business decision on what you'd like to go forward with.
Okay, fantastic. Well, Stacey, thanks so much for sharing some of that important information to our membership today. If people have any further inquiry about Aon Insurance, they can head to our website. I think that's a really good place to start. And then obviously across to Aon Insurance. And do you have we can pop up the website address for Aon, I think, on the screen. And of course, again, we can go back to our website, association website. So Stacey, once again, many thank yous for joining us today, and see you next time.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. It was lovely. Have a good day.
Hello, Jeff from Ethical Practice here and Evolve Natural Medicine. Talking today to provide you with an additional tip on how to create a successful and sustainable practice. If we stop for a moment and think about what the core foundation of our practice is, it's our clients. It's the people that we're here to help. So being good at your modality is a really important facet of being able to help your clients, but it's only one aspect. Being able to make sure that you have really solid customer care, customer service, client communication skills is a vital part to being able to create that practice of your dreams. Take time to think about how you speak with your clients. Do you educate them? If you do educate them, do you check in to see if they actually understand what you've been talking about? If you're giving clients advice on, say, stretching or strengthening exercises, do you check in to see if they're doing them? If they're not, do you chastise them, or do you try and look at ways to actually engage them in the process more effectively? If you have a difficult client, do you just shut them off? Or do you take the time to really try and step into their shoes and understand that this person might be in a lot of pain, might be in a lot of distress, and they just can't articulate effectively? So take the time to be able to create a customer care, a client care strategy in your practice. Highly recommend it. It's one of the, I think, the key aspects of my success as a practitioner over the years is my ability to be able to communicate with my clients effectively. In a clear, concise, and considered way. A way that's authentic and human. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Hope it's been helpful. Have a great day.